All right, Dave Canales, you've done a good job turning this team around. You're half a game outside of the division lead. If you win this game, you'll be 4th seed in the NFC. Baker Mayfield looks like he could be hurt for a long time. It's your time to go, man. You just got to beat the 49ers on prime time. Just don't worry about the legs. Don't worry about them. What up, y'all? It's the Robot Watcher. Grab your binoculars, and I'm back. And the lights is bright as hell in here. Because that's all Dave Canales, Bryce Young, Tedero McMillan, Akeem Aquano, this entire offense saw. Half game back in the NFC South. You win. You take the division lead. You're the 4th seed. Baker Mayfield got a sprained shoulder. Everything's in front of you. But we got to make it difficult because we the Panthers. Whether it's missed calls from the refs on interferences, hits on Bryce Young, tipped passes that they're calling grounding for whatever reason, or miscommunications, holding penalties from Mitchell Evans on play actions, Akeem Aquano things to kill drives. It was just a T-Mac, 2 or 3 drops in a game, not winning at the top of his roster, especially on end breakers. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and the only thing I can think of is how bright the lights was. Let's talk about it. Let's watch the tape. Let's get into it. It's time. Let's discuss this interception. Is RBW going to blame the quarterback, his guy, Bryce Young? Or is he going to blame the coach for not running the ball, Dave Canales? Neither. Hate to spoil it for you. I think this is a great call by Dave Canales. I think this is a great decision, but this is how the play is called, and Bryce Young executed it to the way it was supposed to be. But there's one guy going rogue on this play, and that's Tommy Tremble. Let's look at how it's drawn up. This is going to be a play action. Everybody's going to be blocking. Rico is supposed to sit down on a curl here to be an option, or maybe keep running out. I don't know. He just stops running halfway. But whatever. You're going to have a big over route, or a big crosser from the opposite side tight end, which is Mitchell Evans, in the back of the end zone. Nobody follows him. You're going to have a flat route from Tommy Tremble. You're supposed to block and release to the flat. No, he has guys on him. Now, what Tommy Tremble does that's wrong, once he blocks and releases, he is going to work to the back pylon for whatever reason. That's not how this play is supposed to be drawn up. I think Tommy Tremble seen this safety right here, Jair Brown, squatting at the goal line, and decided, hey, I'm going to try to make a play for Bryce to either run or for me to get open, so I'm going to fade backwards. What Tommy Tremble doesn't know is if you just do what you're supposed to, the concept has worked perfectly. Nobody followed Mitchell Evans to the back of the end zone. Nobody did it. So all Bryce Young has to do is float it over the linebacker's head, layer it over the linebacker's head that's guarding Tommy Tremble, and it's a touchdown. But what happens? Tommy Tremble works upfield. He gets toward the back of that S in the 49ers for whatever reason. Jair Brown turns into Spider-Man, which happens a lot with these DBs on the Niners, and he gets a great interception. There was a lot of controversy about, maybe Bryce Young should have ran. Let's look at it. You have the defensive tackle. We know it's going to be a one-on-one, but Jair Brown is squatting. Let's look at his eyes from this wide zone or the sideline angle. Look at his eyes. His eyes are inside, looking for the flat route. He sees Tommy Tremble releases. His eyes are still inside towards the flat route. He never once looks at Mitchell Evans. Not once. He does not know Mitchell Evans is back there. He's watching Tommy Tremble the entire time. His feet and his shoulders are square towards Bryce Young. So if he sees Bryce Young in his peripheral take off, boom, I'm going down to hit him. Now, when his hips immediately turn. I'll screenshot once Bryce Young arms goes up to throw. But the problem is, he still has not looked at Mitchell Evans. So Bryce Young's arm is going up to throw to Mitchell Evans, who's wide open. Jair Brown turns, but Tommy Tremble is working upfield, so he just plays it off Tommy Tremble. You can even see he stops and squares up right in front of Tommy Tremble to jump, because that's where you think the nexus point is for the ball, and instead you're really just picking off the route that was wide open behind you. So we want to blame Nine. We want to blame why didn't Dave Canales run it. I think Dave Canales was correct. This was a good aggressive call. This was an open play. He said it in the pressure. It was open. Tommy Tremble did the wrong thing. Now, if you don't believe me, let's let Dave Canales tell you himself.
He turns back in. They had a defender on the edge who popped out and intercepted it. At that time, he made a great play on the ball. But, we've been running the ball there in that situation, and felt like we could, get another chance to run at it if we didn't get the completion on that roll. But I like the call. It was an aggressive call, a play action that we had opportunities on, and unfortunately came out with an interception.
Tommy went for that pass too. Were they supposed to be in the same area like that?
I haven't gotten a clear. I'll be able to tell you more about that once I look at the
But
film.
I mean, does the play call, is it designed for that?
No, not to be in the same area. Yeah.
Now, Dave Canales was asked, hey, was the concept designed for two guys to be in the same area? He did his best not to throw anybody under the bus. Oh, I don't know. I didn't really get a good look at it. I have to see. Then they reiterate the question. Well, do you usually design concepts like that to have the same guy in the same area in the red zone? Dave Canales says, no, that's not usually how it's designed. That is the PC way of saying Tommy Tremble ran the wrong route or did the wrong thing, and that's what caused confusion, congestion, and caused the interception. If you don't believe me, the tape is here. If you don't believe the tape, Dave Canales is telling you. If you don't believe Dave Canales, you have an agenda. Let's move on to the next play. Now, this next play is interesting. And I'm gonna keep, it's funny because I always say I'm gonna keep this video short, or I feel like this video is short, and then I, get the edit and it turns out the video is 25 minutes long. I do think this will be a short one. We'll see. Okay, so they're in quarter coverage here. This is an interesting one. They're in quarters. We know it's hard to beat quarters over top. We did it later in the game. Shout out Coach JB. We'll talk about it later. Shout out Mini Combs. You're correct. But this call right here, Jalen Coker's on the go. He's going to be bracketed by those two guys deep. Going to have Jimmy Horn work out into the flat. You're going to have a flat route from what is our running back name? Rico Dowdle. Then you're going. I think it's going to be a big dig on the backside from Tedero McMillan, which some could say you might want to throw that ball. It's going to be a tight window downfield. But some would say Tommy Tremble was open on this play. Interestingly enough, he's running a drag. There is no leak on this play. This is not a leak. He's running a drag or a short crosser. And the way the quarters is set up, that dropping defender towards the flat, who is covering him and Rico Dowdle, he's covering both of those guys because, once again, they're in the same area. Not blaming Dave Canales or anything like that. It's just something to point out. But let's let the play run. And it's just interesting. Look at how Tommy releases. If this was a leak, he would have been released upfield. But he's kind of slow playing it, slow going. That lets you know he's a check down. But whatever. Let's go through Bryce progressions. Bryce snaps the ball. He looks immediately at the safety. He's seeing Tedero McMillan. Actually kind of did get open on this dig. Turns it down for whatever reason. He doesn't step up in the pocket and just dumps it down to Jimmy Horn. Now, if you want to talk about him not stepping up in the pocket, I don't think it was to throw to Tommy Tremble, because I don't think this was a leak. Tommy Tremble was never running full speed. He was always running like it was a check down. What you can question is, would Bryce be able to step up in this pocket and deliver this dig deep downfield to Tedero McMillan? I think he could have. I think this was a missed opportunity here. Let me not say a missed opportunity, because we got a first down anyway. But you could have took a shot downfield. And by the way, this is the second half now. Speaking of shots downfield, Dave Canales played scared. He coached scared. Simple as that. He was calling nothing but screens, swings, and stick routes all in the first half. He barely ran the ball. It wasn't like he was trying to protect the ball by running it after the interception. He only ran the ball, especially after the interception, I think he only ran the ball 3 times. So it's not like it was we're scared to throw the ball because Bryce just turned it over. Oh, we're limited by the play calling because Bryce doesn't throw downfield well. He's not good in the traditional drop back. We all seen that was capped last week. I told y'all it was capped the week before it even happened last week. This was simply Dave Canales playing, I don't even know if you can say coaching not to lose, because coaching not to lose, I feel like you would have ran the ball more. He simply just called a terrible game. Terrible game. I'm not blaming him for that goal line interception. Neither am I blaming Bryce. It's more of a Tommy Tremble thing. But this was just a scary coached game. Scary coach game. Get the ball in midfield, or get a fourth down in midfield. You know this is prime time. You got to win this game to get the division. You punt it. Okay, cool. Later on in the game, you're down, I want to say 11. It's 6-7 minutes left, something like that. You're in enemy territory, 4th and 8. You don't go for it. You kick a 58-yard field goal. Coach scary. That's all I can say. You coach very scary this game. But let's move on to the next play. And this is the beginning of the end of me defending Javon Sanders on this team. Let's look at this play. This is going to be a zero man. This is going to be double A gap. They're playing cover 0, which is all man, no safety help. We're sending everybody. So Bryce Young knows this. I think Dave Canales actually has a pretty good answer here. when you see it on the broadcast, you're like, what the hell is that play call? This is a pretty good answer. This hot answer is what we've been asking for a lot earlier in the season. Give Bryce Young a hot. He gave it to him. This has worked on multiple occasions. But Javon Sanders, for some reason, decided that he's not going to block today. Let's look at it. You're going to have a crosser from T-Mac, kind of a Texas route from Jalen Coker out of the backfield. Good creativity. A dig or slash slant route from Xavier Leggett. Then you're just going to have Javon Sanders pop out as a blocker. Chuba Hubbard's going to be a swing guy. We've seen this play work multiple times, but let's watch Javon Sanders on this play. When is he going to pick up a block? I got to ask, when is he going to pick up a block? You're not dynamic enough as a receiver. Your hands have regressed, and you won't block a soul. If we had somebody in the game, somebody on the roster, or not, wink, wink, somebody that's very dynamic, wink, wink, somebody that is a great lead blocker, but also inline blocker who loves to run, get out in space, and block people and drive DBs into the ground, wink, wink, this is a touchdown. Hell, if we just have a guy who will just get in the way of the defensive back so he can't get the Chuba or the linebacker, whatever it is, this is probably a touchdown. At this point, I'm at my wit's end with Javon Sanders. We're only 2 years in. I really liked how he played last year. He had a quick little hot streak before the neck injury, but I don't know, man. I'm just not seeing it anymore. I don't see it in the hands. I don't see it in any after catch ability. I don't see contested catch wins. It's just not good from zero. I'm starting to question, what does he really do good out there? That's a real question I have to ask. And I'm just thinking, imagine if we had, I don't know, somebody like 6'3", really built guy, pause, very dynamic after the catch, a dynamic blocker, can be moved around in the red zone. Kind of similar to a guy that used to play for the 49ers at the same position, actually. If he's here on this play, this is probably a touchdown. But let's move on, man. Let's move on. Can't cry over spilled milk, right? Let's move on. All right, let me make it a further point of Dave Canales calling the game scared. I want to show y'all this play because I had multiple people last night when I'm watching the game tweeting at me telling me that, oh, a lot of those plays aren't screen plays. Is Bryce Young being scared to throw downfield? They're check downs. No. Let's look at this play design. Just because the whole offensive line doesn't run to get out in front and block for a guy downfield doesn't mean it's still not a designated check down / swing screen, whatever you want to call it. Let's look at this play. Let's look at the top half of the play first. Trips. You're going to have a curl or a stop route from Leggett. You're going to have a basic from Tedero McMillan. Curl, stop route from Jalen Coker. What do we know about these basics? You got to have something to threaten that safety over top. Backside, we're going to have just a pick route from Javon Sanders. His job is to literally run up to this linebacker and get in the way of him so he isn't able to make a play on the running back, and then it's a swing pass. This basic, what is opening up this basic? What is opening up these curl routes? This is a designated short throw, regardless of who you throw it to. Immediately ball snaps, looks, let's work over to this swing route. Boom. Yeah, we got 10, 11 yards out of it. But the reason that play worked so well last week on the time that it did at the end of the game is because we were throwing downfield, we were threatening downfield, and we weren't running this multiple times a game. I've already showed you 2 plays of us running it this game. There were 2 other plays that I skipped over that were basically the same. We have to be consistently aggressive, Dave. That's all I'm asking. I feel like Dave Canales is the same guy as Bryce Young, just in a different position. You know he has it. The flashes are there of these great creative play calls, aggressiveness, explosive offense. But then week to week, you never know which one's going to show up. You never know if the good Bryce Young or Dave Canales is going to show up. Or you never know if the guy that doesn't know how to call plays, doesn't know how to strip plays past the first drive, doesn't know situationally what to do, isn't aggressive enough, / the guy who doesn't read the defense correctly, is afraid to take shots, won't throw it downfield. You never know which one is going to show up. They're the same guy at this point, dog. Like, it's the same exact player / coach, development wise. But let's move on to the next play, bro. The lights was just simply too bright, I guess. That's all I can really come down to. Lights is too bright. Let's move on. Now, here's the thing with Dave Canales. He came out in the second half, guns blazing, calling all downfield concepts, 3 guys going downfield at once, one check down on the field, like I asked for 2 weeks ago. Then he gave it to us last week. He took it away for the entire first half this week just to bring it back in the second half. If you don't believe me, there were 10 passing attempts in the first half. We completed 6 of them for 28 yards. Bryce Young was throwing straight check downs, swings, and screens. Simple as that. Then you move on to the second half. We have 148 or 142 yards, something like that. A touchdown. Yeah, we still had an interception, but that's a stark contrast in the yardage that we had. Very big contrast in the yardage that we had. Maybe it's because we're actually throwing the ball downfield and spacing the defense. Let's look at this play, man. This was a backbreaker, dog. I think this was Teteroy McMillan's worst game in his career so far. The physicality of the 49ers defensive backs was throwing off his timing and his focus so much that it caused so many drops, so many incorrect landmarks for him to get to, like on that dig, even though that was a hold. We'll talk about the interception later. That was a hold, but it messed up where he needed to be at his landmark. It was just overall bad for Teteroy McMillan, and this was a backbreaking drop right here. As we look at it, this is the same play that we not scored on, but we got that big catch from Jalen Coker last week. It's going to be 2 crossers. Jimmy Horn is going to be going deep this time instead of being one of the crossers. We added a little wrinkle to it. Motion Jimmy Horn over, have him run the wheel deep. Then you're going to have your 2 slot guys run crossers. Great play call. Now, this is against cover 3, so it's not going to work the best, but for whatever reason, off this play action fake, this is a play action deep shot. This is not an RPO. But for whatever reason, Akeem Ekwonu just leaves the defensive end, Clelin Ferrell, unblocked like it's an RPO or something. This is not an RPO. It's not a screen. It's not a read option. So I'm not sure why he did that. So that immediately leaves pressure to Bryce Young. If you look at it, Jalen Coker is actually coming open on this play. This could have been an explosive play. But because for whatever reason, Akeem Ekwonu decided he's going to double team a guy who doesn't need to be double teamed and leave his man unblocked, Bryce Young has to go make a play. Get up out of there. And he finds Teteroy McMillan downfield, and it just bounced off of Teteroy McMillan's hands, not bounced off. It went right through his hands on the sideline. An explosive gain taken away. 1 from a blown blocking assignment, and 2 from a big drop from our superstar rookie receiver. This is what I mean when I say the lights are too bright. Even when Dave Canales calls up a good play, he finally cooks up some D-shot, lets Bryce does what he does best. You have your left tackle deciding he's not going to block a guy for whatever reason. I cannot imagine that this is how this is designed. If it is, now we back on Canales. But whatever. Leave a guy unblocked for no reason. And then Bryce Young still puts on his cape and makes a play. And the guy that we usually get these plays from, this was a much easier catch than that catch he made against the Dolphins. I mean, dog, this is a pretty easy catch. Most receivers are going to make this catch. He's open. Nobody's contesting him. The ball is in his hands. He just dropped it, man. The lights was just too bright, bro. Even for Teteroy McMillan, the lights was too bright. It's really that simple. Let's move on. Like I said, bro, Dave Canales in the second half did open it up. It was just too little too late. We can't allow games to snowball and then come back. That's not our forte. It worked against the Dolphins. It worked against the Cardinals. Not even worked against the Cardinals because we ended up losing. But it's only worked one time. We got to get a good first half, a good start to the game, period. So let's look at this. This is quarters. Meaning Combs is correct. You can't beat quarters over top. Here's why. Match coverage, just like Cam Newton taught y'all. Match coverage in zone basically means it's still zone. It's a zone look, but it's essentially it turns into man eventually. So in this quarters look, we're going to run 4 verticals. We're going to motion over to Javon Sanders, let him run the wheel. Everybody else is vertical downfield. Simple as that. In this quarters look, this back half, Renardo Green is going to be manned up with Teteroy McMillan. Is he a man? Not necessarily, but he is because that's his guy. He's still in zone coverage, though. He has that deep fourth outside the numbers. The safety, he has the deep fourth inside. You have the other safety who's going to run the deep fourth on the hashes. Then you have the outside corner who's going to be that deep fourth on the Xavier Leggett. If you look at this, and then this slot defender, shout out to my guy Upton Stout. He was really hooping. I loved him out of not Western Kentucky. Where did he go to? He was hooping, whatever. Upton Stout was going to carry Javon Sanders up this seam, and that's how you know this is match coverage. Easy way to tell. Look at how that corner guards T-Mac is almost like his off man. Look at how his zone is actually the flat, but he still carries this up the sideline. It's match coverage. That's your guy. You chase him. Whatever. Let's let the play run. What opens this up, one, I think it's the play fake from Bryce Young, but also the concept. I don't know if Jalen Coker did this on his own, but him kind of sitting and standing like it's going to be a quick little short route and then breaking off, and it freezes Bryce Young make that double move, it freezes the linebacker, so nobody's carrying Jalen Coker. Now that safety starts to bite hard on Jalen Coker, even though he didn't really have to, but he starts to bite hard in case Bryce tries to layer that throw in there. And that just leaves the other guy, Renardo Green, one-on-one with Tetairoa McMillan. He's going to give him a big rocker step. Get up out of there. It's going to be an easy touchdown. Good throw from Bryce Young. I want to say like 28 air yards or something like that. I want to say it was a 30-yard catch. So it's probably about 28, 29 air yards. Vertical downfield. It's 2 weeks in a row he was able to complete a pass like that. For the people that say he couldn't do it, it's not about, what did I say? It's not about ability. It's about willingness to do it. And he was willing to do it this week. Guys just let him down, including his coach. So, overall, I still wanted to cover a good play because, when Canales opened it up finally on this drive, as you can see, we were able to get a lot going. Like, even if most of these completions on this drive wasn't to receivers downfield, it was checkdowns. Because of how far they stretched the field downfield, we were able to get chunk yardage out of it. We're able to get 8 yards on the check down to Chuba, 12 yards on the check down to Rico, and now we're not even in the red zone, but we're on the 30-yard line. Boom, we're just going to get a double move. Not even a double move, just a good play fake from Bryce Young, and he's going to air it out over top for a touchdown. It's really that simple. But let's move on to the next play. I want to give credit when it was due. This is what I mean, man. Next drive, Dave Canales is starting to open it up, show he has cojones. It's a little too late. This one, I am a little bit confused. I think this is cover 3 with a cloud from the corner. I could be wrong, or a hook curl from the corner. I could be wrong, but the way that he follows Jalen Coker and the way that safety opens up kind of diagonal, it makes me think this is cover 3. But the way these two backside or front side safeties run, it makes me think this is cover 4, and they're just running match principles again. But that corner doesn't stop with Tetairoa McMillan, so I'm gonna call my shot and say this is cover 3. Whatever. We're gonna have that swing route look again. Simple as that. Tommy Trimble's going to motion over. Thank God it's somebody different. He's going to run that swing. Rico Dowdle's going to run the swing. You're going to have a go from Xavier Liggett to carry those safeties. You're going to have a big out from Tetairoa McMillan. This is basically just a levels concept, but this is what I mean when the 49ers DBs are just turning into Spider-Man. Because this is open. Bryce Young makes the correct throw. He maybe could have put it a little bit higher, but at that point, you don't expect Renardo Green to go from the 40-yard line all the way to the 55, a throw to the 55, and make a diving pass breakup. Like, Tetairoa McMillan is wide open. It's just Upton Stout. That's what I meant to say. Upton Stout is just making, I don't know, he's just Miles Morales out there. Like, he's Tobey Maguire. I don't know, bro. Shameik Moore. He just makes a really, really good play. But my beef with, I love this concept, by the way. Really good concept, really good taking shots downfield. We can see Bryce is willing to take the shots downfield because he easily could have just dumped it off to Rico and got at least 10, 15 yards out of it with a lead blocker. But we're willing to throw the ball downfield, as we talked about. That Saints game, he was not willing. He was willing this game. We've seen it already. I just showed it on 3 back-to-back plays where he threw it downfield to Tetairoa McMillan. One ended in a touchdown, one is a drop. Then you have Spider-Man out there on this play. But where was this in the first half? That's all it is, dog. It's like he was coaching in the first half not to lose. It got us in a hole. He realized, the Niners are milking the clock. Half of our defense is hurt. We can't stop the run, so they're going to successfully milk the clock. Now we got to go. Now we got to play with tempo. Now we got to throw the ball downfield, and it's too little, too late. We got to get this offense in a rhythm early. It's too late for this. It's cooked food now. But let's move on to the last play. All right, man. Is the sky falling? No. We're still 6-6. Baker Mayfield is still injured. We still play Tampa twice. The issue is this was probably the most winnable game out of the NFC West games that we have to get a dub out of. Blowing that game to the Saints has forced us to finish 5-1 in this division, so we got to handle business against the Saints. We got to sweep the Bucs no matter what. And we have to beat one of now the Rams or Seahawks. Rams are at home next week, coming off probably a pissed off Dave Canales. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't look good. Seahawks, we're going to be playing in Seattle, I want to say. I could be wrong. It might be in Charlotte, actually. So that would help us a lot if it's actually in Charlotte. But both of those teams are at the top of the conference. If we could just pull out the upset against one and handle business in the division, the sky's not falling. We'll still be 10-7, and we'll be in the playoffs. Yes, it hurts now, but this did not affect our standings. We're still the 9th seed, as we were coming in. We still control our own destiny, as we did coming in. We still can win the division, as we could coming in. We just need our coach, our quarterback too, but specifically for this game, our coach to find his identity, what he wants to do, and be consistent in it. If you want to be this aggressive downfield passing attack like you were for the last 10 games last season and for a couple of games this season that we won, i.e. the Falcons game, i.e. the Dolphins game, i.e. the Cowboys game, if you want to be a good vertical aggressive passing attack, do that. If you want to be this heavy run out of 13, 12 personnel, play keep away, do that. Do I think that's the best idea? Hell no. But do that. You won some games off of that. You won the Packers game off of that. You won the Jets game off of that a little bit. I just need you to just pick one, bro. If you want to be balanced, be balanced. But you weren't balanced this week. You weren't aggressive this week. You didn't play keep away either. I don't know what you did, to be honest. I think he genuinely just got outcoached. And our receivers on the outside genuinely just got outplayed on third downs. To extend drives, we needed guys to go make plays. That includes number 4. We needed guys to go make plays. They didn't make plays. It's really that simple. But that'll be all, man. If you like the video, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Hype the video, too. If you see the little comment button and it say you can hype the video, press hype for me, my boy. This has been a Real Ball Watcher. I'll see y'all next week.